Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Aziz Olsen, and I am here to talk to you about different types of AI scams and how to spot them. I just want to see in the chat how many of you all have heard or seen one of my previous presentations on scams or computer basic classes. You might put it in the chat. Okay, some have, not everyone. Okay. Scams 101. Perfect. Okay, well, for those who are returning, thank you for coming back. And for those who are new, I'm happy to have you here. Let's talk about some different or AI scams. Um, See a message. Can we watch last week's session? Yes, I believe Julie will be sharing or sending out an email with the video from the general scams. But let's get started on AI scams. So, and as usual, I am going to read this slide out, which is saying that the university programs, activities, and facilities are available to all without regard to race, color, sex, gender identity or expression, sexual orientation, marital status, age, national origin, political affiliation, physical or mental disability, religion, protected veteran status, genetic information, personal appearance, or any other legally protected class. And I also want to talk a little bit about the project that I'm here with, which is the Digital Literacy Project with the University of Maryland Extension, otherwise known as Marylanders Online. This project has two main parts. The first are technology education classes, where educators like myself go out within the state of Maryland and teach a wide variety of tech-related courses. These can be these AI scams, basic computer skills, history of AI. There's countless different courses that my colleagues and I have taught, but that is just one part because the second part is actually free technical support. So if you or someone you know needs help with technology, they can call us and receive tech support completely free. So this can be issues with your phone, using a new application on your computer, TV questions, anything that they need help with, they can call our number and receive free tech support. We have digital navigators here in the chat. So if you'd like to have one of us reach out to you, you can just put a message in the chat. Otherwise, our information will also be shared in an email follow-up. Okay. We have language support in English and Spanish, so dedicated phone lines for those two languages. But we also have an interpretation service for other languages in case you are, in case you or someone you know needs help in a language that isn't English or Spanish. Before we begin, do we have any questions? And hopefully Julie will let me know if there are some questions in the chat, just because I won't always have that open. Okay. Thank you, Julie. You're amazing. Yeah. If no questions, let us get started. So in this webinar, we're going to be going over 3 different types that AI is being used to scam people. So those include voice cloning, deep fakes, and AI bots. I'll be giving general advice on how to spot these scams, as well as what you should do in the event that you believe you're being scammed. So has anyone heard any of these terms before? So voice cloning, AI bots, or deep fakes? Can I have some yeses? Some people haven't heard of deep fakes. Okay. Don't worry, we'll be going over all that. Has anyone encountered any types of scams that are like these, or any type of scam that you believe is an AI scam? Yep, but common AI bots are frequent on social media. Yes. Oh my gosh, they are. Okay. So let's start with voice cloning. So voice cloning is when scammers use an AI bots to create a copy of your voice. It's been reported that it can copy your voice in as little as 3 seconds. I'm not sure how convincing a 3 second copy would be, but the most common number that I've heard is about 30 seconds. So 30 seconds of just your voice will give the AI bot enough material to work with to make you say anything, right? So it's oftentimes used to trick relatives, saying that their loved one is in danger or in serious trouble with the law. It can also be used to scam colleagues or people you work with. It's been used to impersonate, a boss or a CEO and have them asking you to send them a gift or gift cards to reimburse a community partner or send sensitive information or to email something to an unrelated email. It can also be used to impersonate politicians, to solicit donations or influence a voter base about a particular issue. And yeah, a lot of common examples of AI voice cloning is saying that, someone's daughter, son, relative, has gotten into a car crash and they, this is like a nurse from a hospital and they need you to send money to help pay for their bills. Or, they got in trouble with the law or got into a fight and it's a court clerk saying that, they need bail money and they're going to help you connect you with a representative or defense lawyer who's charging. Has anyone heard of any examples? Yep, government impersonators. Yeah. Fake ransoms. Yep. So, you know, blackmail or someone impersonating law enforcement, saying that, if you don't do this, something will happen, and it sounds, official. Another question: is it very common? I wouldn't say it is as these type of scams are as prevalent as easy pass scams, that you receive on text messages over your phone, um, or other type of phishing scams, but they are becoming more prevalent. Ooh, I also got a direct message saying, "What is an AI bot?" So an AI bot is like an artificial intelligence sort of program, right, or kind of robot that is, what's the best way to describe it? That can learn to, let's say in this example, like copy your voice or copy like mannerisms or just carry out a task that a human normally would. Sorry, not my not my best example, but um, let's get into some examples. Okay, so I have 3 different videos here. The first one is from a comedian, musician, Daniel Thrasher, who used an AI bot to copy his voice and read Shakespeare's Hamlet. So I'm going to play that for you all. Like this. Okay. And then Julie, let me know if there's an issue with the sound. Okay. It's just going to be about 30 seconds of this.
Hi, you want to hear something upsetting? To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. That's not me, dude! That is a text-to-speech robot! I copy-pasted Hamlet's speech into an AI model that I trained by speaking into this mic for 30 minutes. Say that you chat.
Okay. So he goes into a little bit more about the implications about it, but yeah. So he trained a AI model to imitate his voice. He says that it took about 30 minutes for him to do that. Scammers are able to do the same thing in, like I said, it was reported 3 seconds, but I've heard 15 to 30 seconds is usually more common of listening to someone's voice, and they can make a pretty believable copy of it. The other example is from CBS News, where they talk about these. The article itself is talking about these AI voice scams becoming more prevalent, but the clip I want to show you all was to do with an executive producer of the CBS News New York using their voice to train an AI bot.
I wanted to know what it takes to clone a voice. I found an AI-powered website and paid $5 to use the service. Next, I needed a 30-second audio clip of the voice I wanted to replicate.
Did you know that all you need is 30 seconds of someone's voice?
My executive producer, Walter, loaned his voice.
And you put it into a system?
But I could have also pulled it from his social media.
I'm currently the executive producer of investigations at CBS News New York.
And just like that,
This is Walter, and Masa is the best investigative reporter ever.
I had cloned it.
This technology is powerful.
The AI-generated voice would say,
Was everyone able to hear that? So, yeah, I just like showing those examples because there's kind of like a funnier thing where you could have, yourself or like a family member say some really outrageous stuff, but the CBS News article sort of goes into how this AI, bot can be used to obviously impersonate politicians, but impersonate you to a loved one, right? The third link I have here is from Fox 4, I believe Dallas, Fort Worth, talking about how, or them also using AI bots to impersonate or to copy one of their voices. It's a little longer, so I'm not going to play it here, but once you guys all have a copy of the presentation, I suggest you watch it because I think it is really insightful into the capabilities of this technology. Okay, so what should you do? These voice clones aren't perfect, right? They don't capture all your mannerisms unless you've quite literally talked into the AI model for a long period of time and said a variety of different things. So I like to suggest that people listen for inconsistencies. Listen for, weird jumps between sentences or maybe weird inflections or, emotion in the voice when there shouldn't be. So listening for inconsistencies can help you spot whether or not it is AI. But what I always tell people is these AI bots and models are becoming more sophisticated. So you won't always be able to catch something that lets you know, oh my gosh, this is fake. This is, AI. So a general tip that I have for everyone is to create a family safe word or password. So this is a word or phrase that only the people in your immediate family or close friends know, and they know that they should not give out any information or money to an unknown individual unless they've heard that safe word. Or if it's you, right, not to trust that it's you unless they hear that safe word. When you interact with someone who you suspect may be a scammer or posing as a scammer or posing as a family member, be firm when asking for that word, right? Everyone in the family should know the word, memorize that word. It should be something that, maybe an inside joke or something not common, right? But when you ask for that word, make sure that whoever you're talking to either gives that word, or if they try to evade the question or say like, oh, this is too urgent, this is, too important, we can't delay anything, to be firm and not give them anything unless you've heard that password or safe word. I also I always recommend to try to verify the caller's identity. So this can be by asking the person a question that only they would know the answer to, right? There have been examples of AI scammers not knowing that the person that they're impersonating has no siblings or has a brother and not a sister. So asking, like, oh, how's your sister doing? When, they don't have a sister or something, can let you know that something's off, because scammers won't have that information. They might have the voice, but not the person, if that makes sense. I also like to say to keep your responses short. So you don't want to get into a long conversation with someone who may be using, an AI bot to clone a voice. You don't want to give them your voice to potentially, scam other people with. So keep your responses short. Don't give them more material than needed to, so that they don't copy your voice. And then I always recommend to call the person in question, right? If you believe that there is a scam going on or someone's trying to steal or impersonate, someone try calling them, right? If it is a scam, they will maybe pick up and be like, "What are you talking about? I didn't do that. I didn't say that," or "I'm not arrested," whatever the scammer was claiming that was going on. Or if it actually is that person, then they'll have the exact same information that they told you beforehand, or there won't be inconsistencies. Does anyone have any questions? Or if you don't have any questions, do you have any examples of encountering a voice cloning scam, or maybe seeing something on the news about voice cloning scams?
Hi, this is Chanel Edwards. So I was on TikTok, social media, and this couple was explaining, just like you were saying, that their mother got a call from supposedly her grandson, which is their son, and was saying, just like you said, he was in trouble. And he was in jail, and he needed her to come bail him out. He needed her to send some money to bail him out. So she was getting ready to send the money, but she thought about it, and she called, and they told her, don't contact my mother or my father. But she ended up contacting them anyway to verify that if it was him, and they ended up calling him, and he was sitting on the couch next to his girlfriend. So that was one of the examples that I had.
Yeah, that's a great example, right? Like issues with the law, right? Oh, this person's in an accident, right? Oh, this person is numerous examples. But yeah, that's why it's also important to, like I said, call the person in question, right? Because if my brother, I'm going to use him as an example, if my brother like actually was being arrested, then he wouldn't be picking up his phone or posting on Instagram or something, right? So try to get in contact with the person, or maybe if you can't reach that person, maybe they're like, parents or spouse, significant other. That's great. Any other examples?
I have a comment. As
Yeah.
an author, I can tell you that there's a program called Lab 11, and you can create your own bot of your own voice. And it makes me wonder, once you create that bot and it's up online in that program, can it be stolen? because authors are creating bots of themselves.
Yeah, so that is a really good question. A lot of times when it comes to, I won't be able to speak for every single AI company or anything like that, but when it comes to AI, there is a concern about where that information is being kept, right? What can that information or data recording of your voice, what can it be used for? And what happens if that website or company is hacked? Do they then have all this, all these voice recordings or voice models of other people? Okay. I see that there's a comment. So hang up on the scammer, then call the person who's supposedly in trouble. I would maybe not hang up immediately, right? Just try to see what the situation is, keep your responses short. And then I would say, if it is, someone saying that, I'll use my brother again, my brother's in jail, or, this is my boss, from an unknown number, of course, right? Wanting me to send them gift cards or asking about an update on a project. I would keep my responses short and then reach out, through Microsoft Teams if it was my boss, or call my brother's phone. So yeah, so I would try to contact the individual. Is there a need to stay on the phone if you're uncertain? Is there a need? I would say if you're uncertain, not really, because the longer that they have your attention, the more the scammer, if it is a scammer, can try to, influence you or pressure you into doing something. I personally just prefer cutting off that line of communication, But great questions. Anyone else have a question or comment? Okay, then let's move on to deepfakes. No, sorry, just one more question. Will a scammer hang up if asking questions? Oftentimes scammers, right? If this is like a AI bot, right? It depends how much, human connection there is to it. Like if they're typing out their responses, they might just hang up if typing responses for the voice clone. They might hang up if they don't get what they want from you quickly. Or they might get frustrated quickly and try to pressure you, saying oh no, this has to be done quickly, this is urgent, this is okay. So deepfakes. What is a deepfake? So a deepfake is a fake video created by scammers, although it can technically be created from anyone on the internet, which is a big concern of mine. And it can be done either by superimposing a face on an existing video or creating a video or some clips from a single image. It can be used for scamming. Someone's moving some loud stuff with me. So it can be used for scamming. There are some funny TikTok trends, I believe, using deepfakes, or more seriously, creating indecent images of other people. It can also be used to trick family members in video calls. So maybe you don't, you video call someone, you receive a video call from someone pretending to be, a loved one or immediate family member. They can potentially use that someone else's face or an image to create a video. I'll show you some examples in a minute, or in a second, actually. It's the next slide. Okay. So I will show first this deepfake video. Julie, once again, let me know if you can't hear the sound.
I am not Morgan Freeman, and what you see is not real. Well, at least in contemporary terms, it is not. What if I were to tell you that I am not even a human being? Would you believe me? What is your...
Okay. The rest of the video is just existential questions or whatever. But so that is not Morgan Freeman. It is an AI kind of like deep fake taken from an image of Morgan Freeman and used to create a whole video. It also uses voice cloning so that it sounds like Morgan Freeman as well. Another example is this deep fake Tom Cruise, which was going around Instagram. Let's see if I can get it to play. Sometimes it doesn't like to play. Hopefully it doesn't play with an ad. It does. Okay, I'll come back to that in a second. Another going back to like the more serious way or harmful way that deepfakes can be used is through the creation of explicit videos. Obviously, I will not be showing any of those here, but there have been lawsuits surrounding the companies that create or that allow people to create deepfakes of others regarding, you know, celebrities having inappropriate videos created of them. And these companies maybe not enabling them, right? I don't get myself into a lawsuit, but maybe not doing their due diligence and making sure that their website or their services aren't being used for these reasons. Never mind, it didn't do that. Anyways,
I am...
So I'm trying to get this to... My videos are fighting me. The last example I have is kind of an older one from 2021, I believe, or maybe it was 2018, where they took the image of the Mona Lisa and were able to give her facial expressions and make her move. Full screen this one. Obviously, the facial expressions aren't the most fluid. So yeah, well, those expressions aren't the most fluid. That is kind of like outdated technology, and it is outdated technology. I feel that it does show how, you know, one image can create a whole video.
I am not...
So, some tips that I have, if you believe you're, you know, encountering a deep fake, would be to look for random facial expressions or movements. Just kind of like with a voice, AI isn't able to completely, you know, copy, you know, a human's expressions perfectly and kind of the transitions between expressions perfectly. So looking at their face, like the video's face, to try to see if something looks off. If it does look off or different, 9 times out of 10 it is. I also want to use this time to, you know, just remind everyone to be mindful about what you post to social media. So images of yourself can be used for creating deep fakes, right? Be mindful about who has access to your social media in the sense of, is your profile for, let's say, Facebook public, or, you know, making sure that your Instagram profile is private so that only those kind of near you, right, or trusted people have access to images that could potentially be used for deepfakes. Another thing I like to say is to check online. So oftentimes, if someone is deep faking like a celebrity, right, or a politician, you can check online and say, like Governor Westmore, like deep fake, right? And there might be news articles going on about, maybe it's a new deep fake, or maybe it's someone who's been a target of deep fakes consistently in the past. Also, if you find that there is a deep fake of, a family member or friend, or even yourself, to let your other friends and family know that there's a deep fake going around, so that they potentially don't get scammed by it. As always, kind of from the voice cloning, I just wanted to repeat it here. So call the person in question. There's a deep fake of a friend, or an image or a video that you believe is a deep fake of a friend asking you for money, or maybe on a voice call with someone from a random number, and they're pretending to be, let's say your boss. Call the person in question. Just be like, hey, I just got a FaceTime from you, or hey, this is how you like connected with me. This is what you were asking for. Is that actually you? And is this actually what you want me to do? Okay. I'm just going to quickly look at the chat. Does anyone have any questions or experiences? I see something. Okay. Yep, a comment about it's better to limit personal data in online activities. Yep, very important. Yes, Julie, there are some websites. I'll see if I can add them to this presentation, because that's a really good point, that you can, it can help you determine if it's a deepfake or not. Just keep in mind, it's not 100% accurate. Oh, you saw a deepfake of Michelle Vance the other day. Yeah, with the with the Tom Cruise link, the video I wanted to show, but there were ads there. There was actually a whole TikTok account for someone, they were very transparent about it, but it was like deepfake Tom Cruise, I think, on TikTok, where their entire account was just, them superimposing Tom Cruise's face on their own, and sort of having Tom Cruise play golf and just do other things. Where do you report this and get it pulled from offline if it was posted? So social media apps usually have a report function that you can use to report maybe deepfakes if you do see it on social media. Otherwise, something I was going to get into is, I don't remember the exact link, but it's on one of my slides. I believe it's like report fraud in the FTC. Let me actually pull that up right now. So one common link. Oh, thank you, Julie, for that. Yep, you got it before me. But yeah, you can use okay. Any questions? Any other comments or stories? Okay, now let's get into AI bots. So these might be the most common thing that people interact with or know AI for. AI bots are oftentimes the annoying, tech support bots that we might get from our bank, or when we get to a website being asked like, hey, what can I help you with, or what's your issue? They're calling the bank. But They're also used on social media or dating apps. So there's sort of AI models or robots on social media or dating apps that try to get some sensitive information from you, get you to send them money. It can also be used to boost an account's engagement in social media. So if you maintain a conversation in the comment section with an AI bot in social media, that makes it seem that that account is getting a lot more traffic than it is. And they can also pose as technical support on trustworthy websites. So here are just some examples of AI bots. So the scrolling one on the left is just an image from ABC, I think Australia, showing, Twitter just being kind of filled with bots, and just some examples of bots there, how they all comment the same thing as it goes against OpenAI's policy, our content policy and all that. In kind of the middle top, or center top, there is ABC with a screenshot of different scams or romance scams that used AI bots to respond and to maintain conversations with people. And then bottom center, where a romance scammer used deep fakes and AI messaging bots to take or steal over 17,000 pounds from an individual. Okay. So these bots, right, if they are let's say on a dating site, right, will oftentimes try to get you to share personal information before you meet them. Obviously, it's a dating site, so you might already be sharing some information, but like addresses, like mother's maiden name or like first dog or name of your first pet or something like that, right? Don't share that type of information until you've actually met someone face to face, which I guess it would be a little weird if they were asking you what the name of your first pet was, but I digress. Don't transfer if it is, a social media post where you're talking with someone or a dating app. Don't transfer money or, send intimate photos or videos to people that you're talking with in the event that it is an AI bot that can be used for blackmail. And also transferring money is sort of how these scams make their money. Also, don't engage if we're talking about AI bots on social media. Don't engage with social media trolls, because that just drives up engagement for that site, and that can give, or that page, and that can actually pay that site or persona or bot. It can give them money, as it seems like people are engaging more with their content, which then gets more eyes on their content as it gets pushed by the algorithm. It's this whole cycle. Also, I recommend to verify all of the information you are given. So if you're having a discussion with someone online, or you're engaging with a potential like bot, like don't just take what they say for granted. Be sure to verify information that's good. I guess that's a little straightforward. Oh, sorry, I'm just looking at the chat right now. That's a good question. What is a social media troll? Okay, so a troll is someone on social media that just posts or comments or engages with whatever it is, right? In a negative way. So it's either meant to cause discourse and cause problems, or elicit like a negative response. So trolls can be just like individuals trying to, comment about someone's appearance, or people under, for example, because the election was recent-ish, posting underneath someone's or underneath like a politician's uh, commenting under a politician's post, trying to engage, or just, oh, perfect, yeah, just like bait, trying to bait you into a conversation or bait you into dialogue that's going to go nowhere. That's a great point. You check their history to see if they are a troll. You can see if they typically post negative things. But yeah, AI bots are used to troll a lot, especially on sites like Twitter. I guess it's called X now, but Twitter used to have a lot of bots. Yep, see if they only post negative stuff, or see if it is a new account, right? As if someone just created a new account and put an AI bot there. To comment. But yeah, great questions. Do we have any other questions? Yeah, so I guess I'll share a personal example. Because I don't want anyone to feel embarrassed by AI scams, or if they feel like they've fallen for a scam. So I like to share this example because it's something that I kind of I laugh about now. But I remember back in the day, I was on a dating app, and I was messaging someone, and they kept saying that they wanted to meet up with me, right? Their messages weren't exactly the most well written, but we were chatting for a little bit, and they said they wanted to meet up, but every time we wanted to, there would be some sort of issue, and then their Uber would have a problem. You know, they wouldn't be able to make it. They wanted to me to send money, or help them with something, or there was a family emergency and they wanted me to send money. Um, at the time, I was broke, so I couldn't. But I just use that as an example because I then later discovered that on that app there was a particular like string of people who had fallen for AI scams. Um, and the AI scams and the romance scams were very similar to what I had encountered, where people would actually, send money to help with whatever emergency was going on. But I believe it's over $1 billion lost when it comes to romance and AI scams. But yeah, that's a little story that I like to share because I can look back on it and sort of laugh at old disease and be like, how could you fall for this? But in the moment, sometimes it can seem, more real and that you're conversing with a human being when you're not. Okay, going through this a little quicker than I expected. But I just have some final suggestions. Yes, real quick, I'll have to. So I have some final suggestions about what you should do regarding kind of like AI and this increasing prevalence of, voice clones, AI scams, and bots. So first thing first, very, very important thing, number one thing I always talk about is monitor what you post online. So, like I said before, make sure you know whether or not your profiles are public or private. I suggest making them private so that then, AI bots or scammers can't just access all the photos that you have. I also highly suggest if you do have a public account for whatever reason, maybe you have like a social media presence or like a following, very highly recommend that you don't post a lot of photos with minors in it or you blur their face. Like I had mentioned with AI deep fakes, there have been increasing problems with indecent photos being created of minors and people who aren't 18. It is a dark reality of what is happening with this kind of stuff, but I cannot stress enough, like, please monitor what you post online. Try to limit your social media presence wherever you can. Always meet with people in real life and try to contact impacted loved ones. So if someone is a romantic partner example, pretending to be someone who lives in the area, but for some reason, they're asking you for money, try to meet with them in real life, connect with the person before you send sensitive information or if you share sensitive information or send money. Contact impacted loved ones. If you're getting a call saying that, your grandparent, parent, whoever is like in an emergency, right? Try reaching out to them. There have been examples of people getting calls like this at 2 a.m, right? From scammers, and it might be hard to contact impacted or the loved ones then, or you might feel a lot more panic than you would if it was during the day, but just try to contact whenever you can and try to stay calm. Should have added that tip there. Another example or another suggestion I have is to not feel embarrassed if you need to ask for help. There have been times where in my office I see, like an AI like video or I see something on social media and I need to ask a colleague. I'm like, wait, is this actually like AI or is this real? Or, and oftentimes I'll have someone from my office be like, is this, what are you thinking? But don't feel embarrassed to ask for help, or reach out to family members, be like, hey, does this look real to you? Does this look like AI? Does this sound like AI? And then create a passphrase for your family. Like I said before, a phrase that only you, your close friends, your family know, so that in the event that there is an actual emergency, there is a way that you or whoever your representative is, maybe you can't, talk if you're in a car crash or something. Like there's a way that you can still show your family and tell your family that this is actually you contacting them and not a potential scam. Okay. Cool. So let me look at the chat. Let's see. If anyone has any thoughts or questions, please, you can either unmute or put them in the chat. Ooh, before I forget, yes, there's a report ftc.gov to report scams. Let me look up carousel. I'm not familiar, Carol, with all those resources, but I will take a look afterwards. I don't want to speak for Julie, who's a rock star on our team, but I believe we have some resources online, and we might be able to have like a web page with other resources for spotting AI. Can't remember if we have that, but yeah, those look like good resources. Yep, Tracy said AI checkers may give a false sense of security as they have a higher fail rate than you think. Yes, there is a lot of scandals going on right now in higher education where professors will use AI detectors, and it's more for text, right? but AI detectors that will like do a false positive and flag someone's essay as AI when they've actually written it on their own without AI. Yep, really good points. Okay. Any other questions or thoughts or experiences with AI? Okay. In that case, Julie, take it away. Julie's still here.
Okay, there we go. Sorry, y'all. All right. Well, thank you all so much for attending today's session. If you have a moment, we would really appreciate if you could take a quick survey. Let us know how we did. Give us some feedback. It does help us create and improve new programming and really answer the questions and the needs of the community. You can scan this QR code with your phone, or I added it in the chat as well. I will follow up with an email after this with all of the links that we shared, as well as a PDF of this PowerPoint. And so we, Aziz, you and I, we can actually do a little bit of research on these AI detector resources. And if we find any that look valid, we are going to be happy to share them. You can check our website for that. If you want to go to the next slide, I will also share that we have one more webinar in this series. Oh, can you just go two more? There we go. We have one more webinar in this series. It's going to be next Tuesday, the 19th. It's actually going to be the first webinar of the series, Scams 101, but it's going to be explicitly in Spanish. So if you have any Spanish-speaking people in your network, your neighbors, your family members, please feel free to share that with them. Again, I will add that into the chat right here, and we'll follow up with an email. If you live or work or serve in Baltimore City or Baltimore County, we are having a free digital navigator training coming up. It is asynchronous, and so that there will be some in-person sessions as well as some online self-paced modules. You will get a certificate of completion for being a Monet certified digital navigator through the University of Maryland Extension. Here is the link to register for that. Registration closes August 17th. And finally, we are excited to announce that we have just opened the registration for the 2025 Maryland Digital Opportunity Summit. That is going to be taking place on October 15th in Silver Spring, Maryland. We hope that you consider coming if you want to learn about how to advance digital inclusion, digital equity, and digital skills for all Marylanders. The registration link is also in the chat. And like I said, we will attach all of these in an email. So hopefully we will see you at one of these events. The certification is good for as long as you have it. So it is kind of a one and done, and you'll be able to share that on LinkedIn, add it to your CV, and it will be recognized. So great questions.
Back a few slides, but yeah, if you want to get in touch with Marylanders Online, you can go to our website, contact us through the tech helpline, or send us an email. I also want to thank you all for for participating in this session. This is the first time I taught the anti-AI scams, so I'm very grateful for whatever feedback you give using the surveys. And yeah, feel free to follow us on social media, sign up for our newsletter, and Julie's way better at marketing this than I am. But yeah, thank you all for joining. Yeah. So if we have any questions, I'll be staying here for another few minutes. But yeah, like Julie said, we will be uploading this recording and sharing it in an email. So have a great night, everyone. Thank you all for participating. And yeah, let's all be aware of more scams together and stop scams together.
Thank you.
Of course.